Section 31 is a smash hit. So successful, in fact, it was almost liked as much as Star Trek Discovery final season.
On your mama.
On your mama 4.
This is an authentic spy story from Alax Kurtzman himself, because Section 31 had a deeper, more complex morality than what you generally saw in Star Trek. They fully embraced male values and the idea of what needed to be done in the universe. That's why Alax Kurtzman made an excellent example of them. He understands everything about masculinity. That's why he crosses his legs like a bear. Section 31 has everything you want in Star Trek.
That suffers from what we call mecha dysmorphia.
Personally, I'm offended.
Just what I want, people talking about being offended. Oh, my feelings got hurt. I've not seen someone get that offended since a woman in Star Trek Discovery got called she.
She's pretty fast.
They're fast. They, not she. I've never felt like a she.
I believed that I could see 5 lights.
We have Michelle Yeoh espousing the danger of Californian ideologies.
Everything in his path incinerates. An entire quadrant would be lost. I called it the godsend.
And a stunning conclusion where we actually take out the main villain with a kid's toy. And it even had timely social commentary about Lily Phillips in it.
Chaos is my friends with benefits.
Let's get messy.
Philippa Giorgio is a murderous lunatic. Of course we shouldn't be taking her advice. So join me as we dive into the horror that is modern Trek, where the one question we really need answering is, how is Kurtzman still getting paid?
I'm sure a bunch of you have heard that we are expanding the Star Trek universe. But I actually don't feel entirely qualified to be the one to do it.
We start in Portland. People living in mud huts. The women are having to scavenge through bushes on the side of the street to hunt for food. And they are putting the kids to work simply so they don't starve. In the distance, there's a band of looters robbing a Target. Just kidding, it's Philippa Giorgio.
Stop Asian hate! Stop Asian hate!
She's back! She's home!
It's their daughter returned. So they run to greet her. Oh, you're a murderous lunatic. Let's give you a hug. Like I said, they love them in Portland.
Stop Asian hate!
Are you evil? You'll fit in here. I do question how on earth that windmill is turning when the fabric in it has so many holes. I mean, there is the mother there. Why hasn't she sewn it back together? What did you evolve for if not this? Did you motorize a windmill? There's no other way that's turning. So here we are, the daughter's returned after years away, and the first thing she does is cook them food. If my daughter had been kidnapped, got taken away for years, escaped and returned, I wouldn't be like, great, we can get you back to work. Start slaving over that stove, love. Yeah. They wouldn't have been able to kidnap you if we'd changed you to it the first time, would they? This is for her own good. But as she's ladling out the soup with the smallest spoon available...
2 years.
It's gonna take a long time doing it that slowly.
2 years. And everything looks exactly as I remember.
It was a rotting, festering pile of cat shit before, and it stayed that way. You haven't improved this place at all. That guy's only like 6. There's no way he's been the same for 2 years. She tells the story, though, of the Empire gathered 18 people and had them engage in a sort of Hunger Games. Challenge by challenge, they would manipulate and fight until there was only 2 left.
We were told only one of us would survive the years to come.
Although that was a lie. 2 of them survived.
Pitted us against each other, and month by month, our numbers dwindled.
Because of all the bleeding. He's like, though, did you win, darling? Did my little daughter rise up to be a murderous lunatic? That's what I want.
Is it over?
Is it over? Daughter, did you kill all of them? Is it fine? Are you finally free? Did you wipe out the Terran Empire? She says, though, 2 of us still live with one final challenge. We were in love, you see, the final 2. They teamed up in order to beat everybody. They were cheating.
We are 2, but 1 forever.
Well, until she gets power anyway, like a true feminist. She says that only one of us can be emperor. Although she can't even be an emperor, she can only be an empress.
One task remains.
I've got to make the food for you. Which for some reason, despite the fact that we've spent the last 10 minutes eating it, the bowl is still full. How does that happen? The first to complete the task rules the Empire, and the second...
spends the rest of their life in servitude to the new emperor.
Yes, which directly contradicts what you said 10 seconds ago.
We were told only one of us would survive.
At that moment, though, they start coughing. All of them. What have you done to us?
Sorry.
What did you do?
Why are we trusting the murderous lunatic that won the Hunger Games?
What did you do?
He says, no ties to the old life are permitted. The final challenge was to kill you. And I'm like, you should have been suspicious when she started cooking food. She was a child who survived the Hunger Games, and you expected to be able to do like a Michelin star recipe. Nobody's surprised that her food got you killed. Look at her. If she didn't poison it, you would have got E. coli anyway. Food poisoning was Basically guaranteed.
Thus does the Empire remain strong.
Be stronger if you had a kid, though, wouldn't it, really?
Thus does it grow.
Grow via the children. No empire would be ruled like this. It wouldn't work. We don't need soldiers. They have to lead us. Has the, quite frankly, the nerve to start crying over their corpses. It's like, don't pretend you're sorry. You just murdered them. You don't get to go, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. You're not upset. You're the emperor. You're happy just pretending to cry. The crocodile tears that really piss me off. You can't do an action and then be sorry about it. If you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it. Oh, I'm evil filth and I'm going to pretend that I care. Oh, look, I'm even fake crying. You chose to do the action. You're not sorry about it. That's why you chose to do the action. But then she walks outside. And look, all I'm saying is, does the spaceship really need to enter the atmosphere? It just seems like a pointless waste of fuel. The ship doesn't need to be that close to the planet. You have transporters. Speaking of transporters, they beam down an extremely diverse array of people. It's nice to know that the xenophobic, discriminatory, murderous empire cares so much about equality. Do we really think that this guy and this woman are equal in the military? Let's just have them have a fight, shall we? See who wins. This guy's a military leader, is he? What about this 4'2" short king? One of the elite guards? I doubt she could even get a spider out her own bathroom, let alone lead an evil empire. Despite that, they beam an army down to the planet. A CGI copy and pasted army. Before it happens, just imagine the kind of person that Kurtzman would place in front of the greatest, most evil empire to have ever existed. Ta-da! Oh, that must have been a struggle for him to work out, right? I mean, yes, they are evil and brutal and everything that I despise in the world, but on the other hand, they're really powerful. And we could put a woman in charge. We could show empowerment, even if this empowerment proves that we will lead civilization to evil. Do I want to virtue signal over morality or genitals? I can't work it out.
You succeeded where your competitor could not.
Turns out, though, that her lover boy couldn't kill his own family because he has, well, testosterone. He actually did have genuine ties to the people near him.
Dan did not have the strength to pass the final test.
Yes, because of this graph. It's this graph. Always said sometimes you need jokes put in a video that are just for you. Without explaining the context, this might well be one of them. There we go, you're more likely to know this. But in food terms, it's glorious, isn't it? Graph, food. That's how you teach people science. But he couldn't kill his own family, so they burned his entire village. And she hears that and she's like, these are the people I want to lead. They're just like me, for real, for reals. And so she gets to claim her victory by putting on a really gaudy cloak. And we get to do what Kurtzman absolutely loves. Inverse the gender role.
You live now only to serve at her heel.
I'm not really sure this is saying what he thinks it's saying. He's like, no, darling, don't make me submit to you. Bow down, snail. Now, obviously, in a normal relationship, the dominant partner would provide things like resources and protection. I'll keep you safe from the wolves at the door. I'm sure now they've flipped the roles, it'll work exactly the same. Maybe not. She's probably just going to protect him with it. That's what she'll do. So he submits, and we basically get a live-action replay of modern society. You have taken your empowerment and made me kneel. What shall you do with it?
We ought to.
But what?
Not anymore.
Burn everything! Just imagine the roles are reversed. You know what this story would be. They'd be like, no, we want you to punish her. And then as she goes down and submits, he would take on the army on his own. That is a traditional story. That is what happens when the men are in charge. That is the patriarchal heroism. And instead, what do we get? Yes, hurt him. Hurt him. I mean, Kurtzman, I don't think you intended this to be this based, but here we are. He's like, yes, finally, empowerment. So as she takes over the leadership of the evil empire, which, you know, once every month it's going to wipe out new species.
Hail the Emperor!
This is exactly what I expect an empire of progressivism to be. Then, though, we get a flashback. It explains how that was back in the past with the Terran Empire in a mirror dimension. But Philippa Giorgio, the grown-up adult from that flashback, travels through realities into the traditional Star Trek universe and now works for Section 31, the spy agency.
The most criminal population in recorded history.
What do they expect? Well, without a patriarchy in charge, you're not going to have any justice.
Giorgio had the market cornered on atrocities.
This is the most predictable thing in all of history. Thing is, though, through Discovery, she left Section 31 and is now running a bar. and they're sending Section 31 after her. There's a threat that you've got to track down, and she can help you. They can't send a Federation ship because they can't cross that border.
Which means Starfleet cannot get its hands dirty.
Notice how we've already misunderstood the morality of Star Trek? It's like, oh, they can't get their hands dirty. They would, but they can't. They can't be seen too publicly. It's cynical because people like Alex Kurtzman can't actually comprehend what it would be like to have principles. They think everybody is cynical and just putting on an act. Now, we get to see Georgiou's skills, which are lethal force, martial arts, and ruthless. Then again, she is really old, so probably can't do any of them. How scary are 62-year-old female martial artists? I mean, she could decimate her hip, but apart from that, I think I'd be okay.
This dog bites.
Calling her a dog is a step too far. That's offensive.
Stop Asian hate.
Over on the starbase, we get a bar that looks like it was designed by Jinx Monsoon. This might be Russell T. Davis's perfect entertainment, but for the rest of the universe, probably not that popular. I mean, look at the state of it. You know what always makes women look really attractive? Fat arms. Yeah, just make them look like they've got the fattest arms you could physically cram on them. Also, Michelle Yeoh actually got Balenciaga to design some of the fashion in this. Connected the film's costume designer with the brand to create custom looks for the film. We ended up with that. When you don't know whether they're trying to reference Princess Leia or just have bad taste. Either way, both apply. Next up, we get Michael Jackson's cousin. For anyone wondering, this is why you don't read a book in a tanning booth. It goes horribly wrong. He has an interesting story, though, about one of the hotel guests.
Bright molted just as things were coming to a climax.
At first, I thought he said melted, which would be particularly weird. I realized it was malted. I don't really understand what the problem is. Except apparently he wanted to marry a furry species and then found out they're not all the time.
He seems entirely sober, but quite intoxicating.
He's literally playing matchmaker. Hey boss, do you want to bang that guy over there? Is basically the conversation we've just had. So as she's literally eating an eyeball, he turns up. It's a very weird scene. He describes himself as written like James Bond, but he's so much more than James Bond. You know, that minor little IP over there. No, it's not. You can't compete with me. It's like I'm not just sexy and smart. I'm an extension of it. I am the left hand that crushes, while his right hand caresses. He is here to caress. So let's see him be James Bond. Let's see him caress.
Au revoir, Virgile.
That was it. That was his James Bond. Looking like an effeminate bit. That's how men come on to people nowadays, is it? Give somebody the eye under your eyelashes. You're like, oh, hello. Everything in the show is backwards. Surprisingly, he walk up to her and go, it's okay, love, I'm on the pill. Instead, he offers her business.
That is illegal, and that makes money.
Admittedly, he's not the most intellectual of businessmen. It's a crime, it must be good. I mean, not really fighting stereotypes here, are we? But he's like, I think we should discuss this in private, in your office.
Why would I take you to my office?
Because it's a hands-on experience.
Oh, feel the James Bond suave sophistication radiating off him. How could this ever fail? Mind you, she is 62. Might just be glad somebody knows she exists. What was the inspiration for this? A seafluid blancmange? Either way, they've made essentially Coke pink and sparkly. And so, just like Coca-Cola themselves, she mixes it into a drink.
Bottoms up.
He is used to that. I have a feeling it's his first instinct. Don't breathe it out, you're wasting it. You'd think she'd be better at this stuff. She eats eyeballs. She says, though, come on, let's drop it. What is Section 31 doing here? I've seen your team of 6 operatives all over the bar, and that's why I'm going to describe them as the stereotypes they are. These people don't have personalities, they just have a few words to describe them.
A blood-blooded shapeshifter.
All you need to know about him for the rest of the movie.
Dalton, a walking honey trap.
He was James Bond, she is a honey trap. Somebody that makes you fall in love with her, which you would think would mean you had to be attractive, which for her would mean not bold.
Dalton's sexy time charm.
There is that. Yes, it's almost as if they realized that there was no way she was going to be a honey trap, and so they gave her magic telekinetic powers that would just make somebody fall in love with her, which would probably explain why she didn't care about her hair. Next up, you've got the left hand that crushes, while the right hand caresses. This is your typical European descendant, and as such,
heavy on artillery, low on IQ.
We have to humiliate him. Bravo! You're so stunning and brave.
Vulcan laughing way too hard.
Because Vulcans being logical, which makes them masculine, is obviously the antithesis of modern Star Trek, which is why they're obsessed with destroying them. You can't be stoic and in control of your feelings. Feelings and emotions are your strength. That's why in Strange New Worlds they get Spock to be emotional, and in this... they have to humiliate them as well. Luckily, this guy isn't actually a Vulcan. They just deliberately chose to make him one so they could humiliate them in the process. What I will say is if I wanted to be Section 31, an organization that no one can remember and is a thing of myth, I would probably have an emotional Vulcan on my team that everybody remembered so that I couldn't sneak anywhere unnoticed. Great plan. And then there's this. This is Hollywood. You didn't expect somebody without blue hair, did you?
Stick so far up her backside, it's coming out her mouth.
And she had to use a stick because I wouldn't touch that with yours.
Lieutenant Garrett.
Member berries!
Starfleet, where fun goes to die.
Yeah, Section 31, the moral conundrum of Starfleet, has just been reduced to... we can do whatever you want, and you're not fun, are you, really? I wanted to party, and you won't let me. The understanding of a 3-year-old. When they gave her that costume, she should have just said no. I don't want to be a fat slug on television, should have been what she told him. He tells her, though, I could arrest you, wipe your mind clean, but I want you to keep your memories. Especially all the psychotic ones. There's Locke, you're running a bar, you'll be bored. I'm allowing you to get back into the excitement.
Let's get on with it.
They really want you to think that that was some deep manipulation, when it was really, I want to arrest you, you can't arrest me, and you could have some fun, okay. Kurtzman, where the shallow never ends. So next up, we get an intro to the team. Again.
You look like a Swiss Army knife.
He's like, oh, can't believe you've just said that to him.
I don't know what that means, but I'm not going to just stand here and get insulted.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. Look, he's diverse. He's clearly far more intelligent than me. I don't even know what a Swiss Army knife is.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about your suit.
Again, complimented him, but he's too stupid to understand. He says, you don't understand. When you're talking about the suit, you're talking about me.
Zeph suffers from what we call mecha dysmorphia.
Whereas that guy suffers from Retario Dedio.
Personally, I'm offended. I think you
it's
should
accurate.
know.
Look, I'm too thick to understand it, but I'm offended. That's what I know. I'm offended, and you need to care about my feelings.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked.
It's accurate.
It's not a diagnosis. You're not a doctor.
He actually didn't say it was a diagnosis. He said it was accurate. But the editing in this movie leaves a lot to be desired. Next, though, we get the Vulcan with the, well... this accent.
The Vulcan's just a machine. I'm inside.
33, top of the morning to you, my laddie. I'm a Vulcan that happens to have feelings, but I'm also a robot. Yes, down this guy's gullet is a little tiny alien creature.
Control the body from a backup vehicle.
I control the body from a backup vehicle at top of the morning to you, my laddie. We're a serious spy show, you see. That's why we all talk like this. Nobody's ever taken a spy seriously that talks like this. That's forgotten by the time they've had a few Guinness down the bar.
You see cool stuff on the black market.
Foreshadowing! Yes, the little guy inside is on the black market. He's a criminal, you see. That's what he's in Section 30. What? I don't understand. Section 31 specifically said...
we believe in the same principles that every other Federation citizen holds dear.
Not these people. These people are scum. All of them.
Discovered an infestation on a derelict ship.
Quasi.
Oh no, don't call him an infestation. I mean, yes, he is a virus that does invade the bodies of other people. Good meaning innocent people. Don't call him an infestation, though. I mean, that'd be dehumanizing for the alien nano creature.
Infestation. One more time.
Scavenger! You sack of amorphous.
Yeah, he also has anger issues. What can I say? It's small man syndrome. Like, happens to the best of them.
Buzz, back it down.
Oh yeah, he had anger issues until the big, strong, strapping leader came over. I'm scared.
No one is more locked her down than me right now!
This is me acting. And this is me really acting! The louder I get, the more I'm acting!
Lookins have a wonky emotional spectrum.
No.
Jesus, she did actually say something in this movie. I forgot. Literally no personality in the entire thing. Now, obviously, Section 31 being a myth that Starfleet doesn't know about, Starfleet isn't going to send an agent to Section 30... Wait, here we are!
Starfleet is here to defend the Federation, keep the peace, and make sure no one commits murder.
Except the Federation can't be outside the border because otherwise it'd be an international incident, so what are you doing here? If they can send send you, they can send a ship. And it is Section 31 that understands why Starfleet exists. Not the other way around. If Starfleet uncovered Section 31, they would want to destroy it. And this guy is obviously a shapeshifter, but also a complete genius who can literally imagine every possible future.
Branching possibilities, bloom and blossom in any way you can imagine.
As you can tell just by the way he talks, that guy is clearly a genius.
I could be intimidated by you. Murdered so many people.
We need more of him in STEM.
Or I could observe my feelings right now, lock it away, and do what I need to do.
I could act like a man, or a bit. All the truly civilized, intellectual males in STEM obviously act like betas.
Sometimes Kwasi sees so many options he gets brain freeze.
At least that's their theory. He has too many thoughts, which coincidentally just happens to have the same effect as having none. My money's still on the latter, personally. But their mission, if they choose to accept it, is to go after Data No, who's bringing in the weapon.
Data No, dubious moral compass.
Says this Section 31. This movie treats Section 31 as if they're evil, but still thinks that the evil would be judging the moral compass of criminals. So they revealed their plan that they were going to do that fell apart. Firstly, he was going to seduce Michelle. I mean...
Stop Asian hate!
How many stereotypes are we going to fit into this movie? With that, Kwasi was going to shapeshift into it, and then Foz, tiny little dude that he is, would fly inside his head, mess with the technology.
So many circuits, so many things that can go wrong.
And she obviously gets mad because she's like, well, to make sure you fry the right circuit, I don't want him killed.
I will unleash the full weight of Starfleet on this whole operation.
Which she can't do because they're on the other side of the border, so Starfleet can't go on across the border, so she can't threaten Section 31. Otherwise, Starfleet would have been here in person. Why is she here in person? It doesn't make any sense.
Starfleet does not do assassination.
They do when they're sending someone along with Section 31. Section 31 is meant to be an autonomous group. That's what keeps Starfleet's hands clean. If you send someone along with them, you are just with them now. But once we've hacked his technology, Zeph will come in and... Honestly, I don't know why Zeph couldn't just do that in the first place. Just the moment he walks in the bar, Zeph just punches him. It's very complicated for no reason, just so everyone can have a role.
I have a simpler idea.
So did I. Zeph just punches him in the face. Instead, we see the actual plan. He brings the weapon in, the real Giorgio meets him, and she takes him into the suite. At this point, Zeph could just punch him in the face. Instead, she throws a device onto the weapon.
What's this?
A client of mine gave it to me.
And she just starts telling me what it is. What is this? Maybe I should go down and pull it off. The bomb thing. I don't know what it is. No, I'm gonna leave it. And she explains to him, puts the object out of phase with reality.
And I got one for myself too.
And her out of phase with reality. This means because they vibrated a different frequency, she can touch the box, but he can't touch the box or her. Why isn't she falling through the floor, though? I do need to know. You're gonna have to explain that one to me, mate.
Damn it. Give me back my case.
No.
I did like that he shot her straight away, although I would have shot her when she started lobbing things onto my weapon.
The phase pod changes.
I do love how she's still explaining to him how the technology works. Well, it throws me out of phase, so your weapon can't hit me.
I am out of phase with you, and you are out of phase with me.
And I felt the need to tell you this, rather than just taking your weapon from you.
Impressive.
Begs the question why the guy with the suit is even here. He feels a little bit redundant when we've got Superman, probably a Taika Waititi version of Superman. At that moment, though, they hear a noise. Whoops. Someone magically knew her entire plan without her even knowing it herself until 5 minutes ago, and he came prepared with the exact device that she had. At this point, you may wonder, who gave me this device? Because that's probably the person under that suit. She never asks herself this question. Yes, I don't know if you noticed that. He's there trying to shoot her in the face and for some reason aims to the left of her and then pulls the gun away because she's about to hit it with her dress. Either way, we get a fight which looks like a man fighting a 62-year-old woman. Except it's a 62-year-old woman who can somehow overpower the grown man next to her. Giorgio doesn't have any, super strength. She's not modified in some way. She hasn't been made stronger. No, it just turns out that 62-year-old women are just poof. That definitely would have broke her hip. Now, at that point, he kicks her through a wall, and they find people doing the deed, and they clearly think this is very funny. Oh, look, they're whimpering! He starts running through the wall, she chases him, which means the team has to follow them through the walls by this guy, well... I feel like he was waiting to do that his entire life. I don't know why there's such explosive results to going through a wall, though, rather than just, metal. Bro, I don't fancy yours much, just so we're clear. Now, the fight between these two goes on forever. And while I like the idea of dimension hopping between pulling it on and off, it is definitely a gimmick more than anything else. Luckily, though, the man in this scenario is fighting at the speed of a 62-year-old woman. Very nice of him, not wanting to put her at any kind of disadvantage. Until eventually... Seemed a little bit of a dramatic entrance, didn't it? At that moment, though, the bald person decides, I can control his mind. Seems a bit self-defeating, that's all I'm saying. Oh, look, I can make you fall in love with me and stop. Oh, I'm gonna kick you in the face. That's all you wanted to do. You could have done that without the mental powers. Did we really think smashing a bottle over a helmet is going to do anything? Luckily, though, she finds a weapon. The first time fighting this has looked realistic. I can fight! No, you can't. Bang! Now, at this bit, I was amazed. I didn't think they'd actually kill her off. I also didn't care because she didn't have a personality and never did anything the entire movie. In fact, I was so amazed at this part, I thought they were setting up something for her to return as the villain later on, as if she'd betrayed them all. No, she's just dead. Oh no! You sent her in to fight a guy. What did you think was going to happen? Back then, to the same repetitive fight we just left. Yes, she's now going to fight him off with one arm like she's Neo in The Matrix. There's one thing 62-year-old women are renowned for, is their upper body strength. I too can spin a camera in a circle. So after even more random fighting, this time on the stage, with her still doing backhands around his helmet, his protective headwear, eventually the weapon gets kicked through a wall and she runs after it. She is out of phase in this. Why isn't she going through the floor? How can she even move her leg on the other side of the wall when she's in phase with reality? And so, he walks through and just grabs it without even asking her, how come your leg didn't get cut off when it phased back into reality inside a pissing wall? And he reveals, dun dun dun, it's a mini Borg cube. That's what it looks like.
That's impossible.
Can't be that impossible. Literally in front of you.
I had that destroyer.
Yes, I told someone to do my bidding and they didn't do it. This is unimaginable for me. And of course, as soon as he beams away... Oh yeah, of course, my legs just got free magically just at the right time. That was lucky. Thank you. I love it when a plan comes together.
You know that weapon. What is it?
Go on, shoot her in the face.
What is it?
Shoot her in the face.
Fine. The hard way.
Shoot her in the face. If only we rolled the end credits there, so much pain could have been saved. Now, I have to say, this is probably the best costume design, as she's got a massive dragon attached to her dress. And as he walks in, the hologram basically folds back into her dress. So it's just a illusionary dragon trade. And this is Hollywood. If there's one thing they're used to running on somebody, it's a trade.
The most imperial majesty, mother of the fatherland, overlord of...
What is it?
I remember when you used to be a man and now you kneel before me, you peasant. Why do you still allow me to do this to you?
It is finished, your majesty.
Looks like you had to pull the top off and just reveal like ravioli.
Where are my engineers?
They took their own lives upon completion.
Not surprising. It's that post-nut clarity. I can't believe I did this.
Who is the cheerful son?
Why are you crying? I'm crying for you and what you've turned into. This is meant to be the romance story. When really all it says is this should be the other way around. No, I just finished. The weapon is finished for you.
Look at me. Do you remember who we were?
And she starts going off, do you look at me? Why'd you cry for me? Do you remember who we were? We could rule this empire to get this, like you've been crushing him for years, you crazy bitch.
Before all this, curious boy, the innocent girl.
The innocent girl?
Sorry. What did you do? Thus does the Empire remain strong.
You wiped out a load of people to win a competition because you were thirsting for power. I'm so innocent, though.
We were the only ones who could understand the cost to stay alive.
Keeps going, you're the only one who ever understood me. We're a team. We're amazing. It's like, yeah, but was that before or after you heated up a sword and burnt my face with it, you crazy bitch?
We needed each other. What did we say?
So remember what you told him?
We are two.
But one.
Not anymore.
Together, we are two.
Do you forget what you said previously in your own movie. You can't claim you're together now. You've been breaking him as a human species for decades. Seriously, it's like marriage. She says, though, if I asked you then, would you flee the competition, run away and leave everything behind, would you?
Question is more poetic than you know. I would have said yes.
But that was before you melted a sword into my face. You deranged, power-hungry, evil cow. Because that was then, though. Could have made something great with your reign, with your empire. Instead, you created this. That innocent girl I knew has been murdered. And then coughs his guts up all over the floor. It's the same childhood poison again.
You took the same poison?
I would rather take that than live a life under your boot, your high-heeled boot, because you asked him to submit when you had no idea how to lead.
No! I forbid you to die!
Told you. She thinks she has the power over life and death now. Whereas I doubt she even has control of her own bladder when she laughs. But he's like, no one wants to live in your world, Emperor. Yours is the land of the feminine.
You are a monster!
He's not wrong. The thing is, even after this, she didn't even change. Earlier in this same movie, when she was eating somebody's eyeballs in a drink. Oh, there's nothing more painful than accountability and somebody telling you the truth, is there? But she's now arrested, and he is, well, I think this is supposed to be a threat.
A safe house, but maybe not so safe for you.
Bet that sounded really smart when they wrote it down. But it's like, come on, you could just, get the knives and the blades and have at me if you want answers.
You're a tyrant, a real one. Torture wouldn't work.
It's not how that works. Definitely works on tyrants, even real ones. If anything, it might work on them more because they're used to being in charge and doing it to other people. They're not exactly practiced in it on themselves. You want people that could resist it, you need to talk to the people she's done it to. She starts telling him, though, you know tyranny, though, so well. You learned that somewhere, and if you have to hide it, that's a weakness.
And I can't have that in a partner.
We're not partners.
Did want to be a partner earlier on. That was your entire kind of smoldering wink. She tells him, though, the weapon is worse than you thought. Billions of lives are at stake. Time is ticking. We need to just bang and get it over with.
Tell me you, and I will tell you me.
Look, English isn't her first language, alright? We have to let that pass. She is 2 sentences away from saying, me love you long time, alright? We have to make allowances for it.
What?
God, I know that feeling. You're a 62-year-old woman. Am I supposed to be scared of you? I'd do more damage to myself tripping and falling over on your pointy shoulders.
Regina under Philippa Jojo, Augustus the Apponia Centaurus.
So come with fries.
This really is a write what you know, isn't it? President go, your mom! What kind of retort would I use? Well, I spend most of my days eating out at fast food. You better put that into the sci-fi movie. They punch him, though, and every time you don't answer my questions, she's gonna punch you.
Okay.
Which I think is supposed to be intimidating, but again, 62-year-old. It was like, I just run a pathology lab, it's fine. I don't even know what any of that is.
Then she was gonna be doing the face punching.
So now we both have lied.
And also, yours stand a chance to hurt. Still denying he knows anything about Godsend or the Mirror Realm, though, and so she decides to do the scariest thing that she could possibly do at her age. Talk to him. He's like, dear God, don't tell me what you did to yourself when watching Handmaid's Tale. Nobody needs to know this. But with that, he spills everything. He ruled a facility on Earth. It was ordered destroyed there, and he just didn't. This seems like a remarkable lack of oversight for the destruction of a device that can wipe out a quadrant. Probably would have made sure I did that myself, just saying. I tell him, though, so you took it, you stole it, and you wanted to sell it. And the more the story goes on, the less it'll make sense for the rest of the movie.
To sell it.
I wanted to live here quietly on its proceeds.
How? This was going to destroy a quadrant. The quadrant that you're in. If you sold it, you would have no place to live anymore. You'd be dead. You can't travel across the quadrant in your lifetime. He tells them, though, I traveled to your universe through 2 ion storms that collided and just ripped a hole between the dimensions.
When they converge, which they do like clockwork.
That was lucky. That means we've now got an arbitrary timed countdown clock for the end of the film. That'll come in handy.
But it'll open again in 4 hours.
Yes, we even ADR'd with him off screen. The countdown clock. Now I know what you're thinking. A bomb that destroys a quadrant. That's enough scale for any movie. The Avengers just wanted to destroy Earth. Not enough for him, though.
Are you aware of what that weapon does?
He is, but he still wants to make it sound more extreme.
The Terran Empire's burned through its resources. There's famine.
Okay, what's your point, though? Oh, they've burnt all their resources, so they're going to come over here, detonate a bomb, and blow up ours? I mean, how's that gonna help them?
We need to find a new territory to conquer and strip mine.
But the weapon will destroy the resources. It incinerates everything. Can't really farm or mine things which have been destroyed.
When they realize that their super weapon is gone, they're gonna find that passageway.
How? Why? If they needed the resources, why didn't they come here in the first place? If they don't know about the passageway, how are they going to find it just because a bomb's gone missing? The story is literally a bomb destroys a quadrant, but then an empire's coming to take the bomb back, even though it doesn't know how to get there, because it wants the resources that it doesn't know exists on the other side of a portal they don't know is there, which they'll then set off the bomb to capture, which destroys the resources they're after, which they shouldn't have detonated the bomb for, is the plot of the movie.
You know they will. And they'll come and they'll burn everything they touch.
They won't have anything left to conquer then, will they, you stupid tart?
Enslave the rest, because that's...
What do you mean enslave the rest? You're gonna destroy a quadrant. There's no one to enslave. If they blew up a quadrant, they would spend the rest of their lifetime traveling across the quadrant with nothing to conquer before they met anybody else, which would lead to huge gap of nothing with no resources, no supply lines, no bases between a portal and them. Your plan doesn't make any sense.
They learned well from you.
At least that bit's true. She is also a complete retard.
Who else wants it?
Ah, yes, the ultimate questioning technique. Shoving your finger up somebody's nose. I remember reading in the history books how successful this has been over the course of civilization. They ask him though, who are you selling it to? I don't know. Well, who stole the weapon from us? I don't know, but wherever he got his information, he got it from one of you. How does he know that? We'll never know. Could he know that? No, he couldn't know that either, could he?
They learned it from one of you.
I do like the timing of the bomb. They learned it from one of you. Boom! I'm so glad that the bomber waited for them to finish their conversation first. And just as the twister was revealed, he was like, well, 5, 4. I want them to find out I've been screwing him over first. Oh, it's a glorious sight, isn't it? Watching a load of insufferable people get flown across a room. Are you dead? Roll credits. Yeah, apparently the entire ship can blow up. Personally, I'd have internal sensors scanning for dangerous things like this, but who am I? I'm not one of their high-tech ship captains. Ain't gonna be much left of that, is there? My favourite bit, though, is as we transition over from CGI to the real world... Move the camera quickly so they can't see what's happening. Throw out a barrel on fire. That'll do. Where's the barrel come from? Nobody knows. Datto, or whatever his name was, is on fire. They're fine. The emergency transport beamed them to safety and him into a fire. Never piss off the AI of a ship. That's what I learned from this.
Is that the ship? Is the ship gone?
There's a big fiery explosion in front of me, and I have to... Is that the ship? I mean, I don't know. It could be anything. Could have farted earlier at me first. It's always like this. People are idiots. But then we get paranoia. The ship's gone. It's Sabotage. It's one of us.
Whoever stole the godsend had a part. It was someone here.
I'd like to point out, they never tried to put that guy out on fire. They literally just walked away and left him to die.
Could be you.
Could be you.
Can't be me. Must be you. This is every stereotypically badly written paranoia scene you've ever seen in your life put together.
If it were me, I would have murdered all of you already.
That's what a spy would say.
I mean, that sounds pretty moldy to me. I don't know.
See? You can predict this script because you think of the worst thing they could say, and then it happens. So this carries on for ages. I don't even know what you look like. You're a shapeshifter.
He's on a whole other scale than anybody else.
Deflecting?
They basically played a game of Among Us and wrote a movie about it. But it's like, I've got 190,000 babies to take care of, don't you understand? I am not going to try and blow up the most horrific scum in the universe standing in front of me.
She's new. She doesn't care about us.
I'm Starfleet.
Acting. That's a better impression than you would give me credit for, look.
I'm Starfleet.
Ooh. 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 I'd like to point out, supposed to be super intelligent, but he just comes across like a 5 IQ prick.
There's an old ship out there, an old garbage scow.
We had to ADR that in because it wasn't part of the script before. How are we going to get off this planet? How about they just find a ship? How does she find that ship? Nobody knows. What happened? Did she just go for a walk and stumbled across it?
I dislike you less.
If I wanted someone to like me, I'd get a dog.
There's no way a dog would like you. It says man's best friend, not insufferable cow.
I like order. I like prediction and conclusion.
Hello, this is me. I am an extrovert. I like doing this and I like going over there and doing these kind of things. Over here, know I do these things, and would you like my life story? Because I'm about to tell you it for absolutely no reason whatsoever. The only time this person has ever told anybody what their personality is, the response was, "You want fries with that?" No, it's, "I don't care. You've never mattered to anybody, just piss off."
We've got Mo, stranded on a dead planet, hours before the Terrans get the godsend.
But of course, this is because it's a streaming movie, and that means we're gonna have to tell everybody that's been ironing what's happening because they can't multitask, despite the fact they're renowned for it.
And 4 hours before the Terrans get the godsend.
I wonder why we've gone over to his face when we're describing what's happening about a mole.
And use it anywhere in the galaxy.
If you don't care about anywhere in the galaxy, you care about your quadrant of the galaxy that would literally take your entire lifetime to travel past. No one buys a quadrant-destroying weapon and then spends 120 years traveling somewhere else with it so they die. But it's like, we need to get the antenna going, tell Section 31. Now, somehow, somebody's ripped out all of this stuff, despite the fact that they're all standing outside together. It's a loophole, they're never going to answer it. They'll think they have, but they can't have done. They decide, though, to split up into 2 teams. One to sort out whatever this is happening, and the other to go to the trash ship to try and fix it.
I mean, just 50-50 shot, one of them wants to kill me.
We can live in hope. Yes, Giorgio, though, this godsend, any failsafe, any way to disable it remotely?
There is no failsafe. I wouldn't allow it.
Yes, I mean, why would you allow a failsafe that could be stolen from you and used to destroy your empire? Thick as pig excrement.
God send to vaporize quadrillions of lives.
Just remember that. Quadrillions of lives this is going to destroy if it detonates. Quadrillions. I don't even know how many rillions that is. But one thing I love in my sci-fi shows is modern day Californian speak. The only frame of reference these people have is Starbucks and their own computer and their jobs. That's how you get conversations like this.
Well, your corporate culture is straight up shit.
Your corporate culture. She runs a pissing empire that controlled the universe. This has nothing to do with corporate or corporations. She doesn't even know what a corporation is. In the Terran Empire, everything is hers. They find out, though, that a coil is missing. Don't worry about that, though.
Find another one. This thing should fly.
Yeah, you could probably find it on the leader of Section 31, despite the fact that he's been on Giorgio the entire time he's been on this planet, and we've seen all of it. They do have a plan, though, of where they might get a backup one.
Maybe the cargo hold.
Yeah, let's go to the cargo hold. Remember that for the next time you see them. Although she says to the robot,
"Aren't you coming?"
Yes, I couldn't be more excited.
I thought this was just his bad acting, but apparently it's part of the story. Very hard to tell that, though, when everybody acts this way all the time throughout the entire movie. Mecha Dysmorphia, though, is going, look, I'm crap at this, so
I'm just gonna stand here doing absolutely nothing. It's called radical self-acceptance.
How about you go through radical self-improvement and get off your fat ass and do something? Now, of course, Starfleet has an interesting take on this mess. That actually, in this spaceship, all these wires don't really mean anything. They're very dramatic, but they don't serve any purpose. Big serious.
This torn wiring looks dramatic, but this equipment has redundancy built in.
Oh, yeah, it's got redundancy. Doesn't matter. Just destroy half the ship, it'll still be fine.
Somebody ripped out the theta junction.
Oh no, somebody ripped out the theta junction. But what a coincidence. We've got 2 ships which have exactly the same problem. A piece is missing. Otherwise, it'd work. It does save on the script writing when you only have to write one problem for everything. They notice, though, that Zeph is missing. After looking for him down in the tunnels,
Was that you?
suddenly the transmitter activates and starts sending a signal. And then, for absolutely no reason, with no intervening scene, remember, let's go down to the cargo hold.
Garrett, sit rep.
Wait, where did they come from? I thought they were in the cargo holds. I also like, as he turns around, you can literally see them just waiting for their cue. He should be like, wait, why are you sitting on that ledge? I thought you're on the other ship.
Sit rep.
Doesn't even say, oh, hello, I see you're back. We've got some problems over here. Yeah, Captain Mecha Dysphoria is missing. I should probably update you on what's been happening in the ship, because you were elsewhere. But somehow you've returned magically and are up to date with the situation. This was clearly filmed for something else, and, well, it was supposed to be a TV series. I'm guessing this was different episodes.
Lieutenant, do you copy?
Giorgio, how do you know what we're looking for? How do you even know there's a problem? You've just arrived from another ship on the other side of the planet.
Clear.
Clear.
Clear of what? You don't know what the problem is.
How could someone abuse this to send out a signal?
Oh no, the part's back in, and then they shot it. It'd be weird if somebody took a part from the other ship just to return it later, because that would again be a repetition of plot point.
Zeph must have put the theta junction back in and shot it after he used the array.
Well, so Giorgio starts on, Zeph's come down to sabotage us. He sent a message to his buyers, and now he's going to wait for them to arrive. Because of that, they go looking for him.
Sector, over.
I do want to know why bits of the planet are just randomly exploding. Are you scared that your planet seems to be on fire?
Stay low and tight, people.
I don't even know what that means. If anything, it'd be low and loose. And so, as they're randomly walking through a forest, she's suddenly like, can you tell me your backstory? I think I've pressed escape and gone to journal.
The warlord you served, Gary, what happened to her?
This is where we find out that he is genetically modified.
She was lucky she wasn't infected with a conscience.
Yeah, like you have a conscience. We literally saw you eating eyeballs at the start of the movie.
A monster with regrets is useless.
Luckily, you still eat eyeballs, so I think we're well in the monster territory. So they go through basically every cliche that they possibly can about spies in about 30 seconds. Including this one.
Maybe it's why you're working with 31, to wipe your slate clean.
I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
Can you wipe out that much red?
You want to wipe your slate clean? You stayed in a bar so that you couldn't hurt anybody else? Well, basically useless. I'm so glad we've had this lull walking through a forest together as a romantic couple, just so we can discuss our past lives with each other. Did anybody ask? No. Who looks at this guy and thinks that's a guy with an interesting personality?
You think I'm a monster who feels enough to be controlled, but still do the real dirty work?
No. Nobody looks at a 62-year-old woman and thinks she can do work. Literally retirement age.
Think you want the godsend back because you know it's your one chance to redeem yourself.
How's she going to redeem herself? Wiping out millions of people is not redeemed by stopping the wiping out of more. You don't save people to redeem yourself. You save people because it's the right thing to do. It actually doesn't affect your past at all. You still did them and should be judged for them. Eventually, though, they find his corpse and it's like, his corpse? He seems to be missing an eye. Don't think this means he was your mole. Although it does beg the question, when he was behind them and vanished, why didn't he go, somebody help me?
Polio.
Guy starts saying the names of his children, or like diseases. Doesn't give them a hint or anything. Maybe this guy's filth.
Influencina, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever.
Yeah, don't trust someone who names their children after hemorrhagic fevers. He says, though, we can hook up a tricorder to him and get his databanks, find out who did it. Come and got a really bad idea for the mole to expose himself to the only person with after-death databanks. And they're like, hang on, it could have been us. We're all three together at all times. We have alibis, all right? Calm down.
And nobody went anywhere, right?
Absolutely. And in this high-tech environment, there can only be one form of detective work.
Oh, this is not...
Yeah, she finds hair on him. Must have turned on a Batman detective mode. The hair is brunette, 25 centimeters, and I'm not sure, but I think that rules him out. Oh no, it's Starfleet! Because that's the amazing thing about hair. It just stays permanently attached to you and absolutely doesn't fall out all over the place at random. Once you've spent several days around somebody, absolutely no chance of getting their hair on you.
I've been in close quarters with Zep for a week.
True. That stuff gets everywhere.
Okay, so you're into Mecha Boom Boom. Lots of humans, huh?
Yeah, they have been for a long time. Although they don't normally go for the entire mech, they just need part of him. Also, at that point, I'm not even sure where the human is involved. Thing is, though, she finds Zeph's blood under her fingernails, and she shows her the results on a tricorder that looks remarkably like a mobile phone in a plastic case. I suppose if communicators look like flip phones, then obviously the next logical improvement would be to the mobile phones we have today.
Why is Zeph's blood underneath your fingernails?
Mecha Boom Boom, she just told you. Like claws down his back. So we end up with a bit of back and forth. I'm Starfleet, you know I can't have done this. You're just afraid of me because I have morals.
You're actually a Chaos Goblin, aren't you?
I do like that she called her a goblin. It's an underused insult. Like, no, Starfleet knew that you were a Chaos Goblin, just trying to pretend that you were a civilized human being. That's why they put you with us. At least she knows she's filth. We only put the complete degenerates with you, love.
Just a place for officers who bend the rules, never quite break them, until they do.
Yeah, but Starfleet doesn't help Section 31. One of the key story points. Pissing Section 31. It is only rogue officers. It is not Starfleet. Philippa, though, is about to attack her with a knife, until he's like, no. Oh, look, you may have slaughtered one of my friends, but she doesn't deserve that. Luckily, though, at that same moment, she gets saved by a literal bell. I don't make the rules. I just laugh at them. It's the footage from the corpse. It reveals him breaking his own arm. Acting like Hollywood for the last few years. Talking about, we were your friends while you're doing this, we're your friends, before a drill bit goes through his eye. Like, why on earth would he do that to himself? You can't listen to a guy going, we were your friends, and thinking, oh yeah, that's voluntary, obviously. Yeah, that's what everyone does. But Philippa, though, realizes Mr. supposedly super intelligent, which has never done anything his entire life, he can't decide. But through the power of fallopian tubes,
Even though you look like you can change it to anything you want.
she goes through all the people and realizes
You would believe the tiny spots I could get into.
it can only be him, because he can go inside machines.
Inner workings of body modifications.
A hacked wire here, a little cut over here. Before you know it, guy's shoving a drill into his face.
There's an autopilot. That's the only thing that makes sense.
He can set his robot body on autopilot, fly off, do something else over there, and meanwhile, this guy can't act.
Answers was so strange. Aren't you coming?
Yes.
I literally just thought it was because he couldn't act. Turkey tree, it's probably why he was so emoting all over the place before. You're supposed to really be sure that this guy isn't the same. He's always laughing and chirpy all the time, and now he's just kind of dull. He's like an Englishman. We can't have that. So he took control of Seth, put in the theta junction, and then shot it, made him set the message.
Don't do this to them!
Obviously didn't care about him complaining at the time. Before taking Seth out so there's no evidence. Except for a body that they didn't make walk very far. You could have at least sent it further out into the pissing forest.
Hands up, Fuzz.
I do find it weird that the gun's not pointing at him, it's kind of pointing across his face. Because on the one hand, yes, there is rust, so you don't necessarily want to point it at the camera. On the other hand, that's a piece of plastic with an LED in the end. You can point that at the camera all you want, it's not going to go off. The thing is, though, he's got a plan. He's still hacked into Seth's body. So he starts stalling for time.
Can I just say one thing first?
I named all my children after diseases. You should have noticed I hated you then.
I'm still hacked into Zev's exoskeleton.
But it's kind of based, you gotta admit. Okay, I don't know why he had to act like the Joker all of a sudden. Quick, he's a Vulcan! Make him emotional! So he hops onto a platform that travels along a tunnel that's been made. I don't really know why. Is it a mining operation? I thought this was a communication tower. Who knows? We've got transporters, but for some reason, we're gonna use this instead. Either way, they jump on another platform. We're planning to chase him, leaving her tied to a chair. Let's face it, not the first time, I'm sure.
No crew member left behind.
No useful crew member left behind. This is now about the 4th time I've seen her do that. I still don't know how she got free of the cuffs. You just seem to stand up and swing around in a circle and they let go. Also, these are 2 identical platforms chasing each other. They should be going at the same speed. And yet, somehow they've caught up to him. I don't know how. Now, everything for this entire scene has terrible CGI. Let's just take that as a given. Don't want to repeat myself too much. The entire scene looks awful. It looks cheap. The background is obviously not there. If they wanted an action scene like this, you shouldn't have done it in CGI. I mean, look at that. Oh, if we just make it really blurry, no one will see it's crap.
Get us closer!
Yeah, just get us closer, because it's not as if the other people will be going as fast as we are. Help, we're trying to escape from people. Shall we go at top speed? No, go about 50% so they can catch up to us at 100. Yeah, it's more exciting that way. Yeah, apparently if a platform rams another platform going down a tunnel, it doesn't crash or go up and down the tunnel or anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it. This is physics. One person may fall over, though, just for effect. What follows is a stupid fight of people fighting a robot mech suit and a 62-year-old woman beating up a robot body. Yeah, that's right. The only person that I would expect to be able to hold his own in this fight, the leader, the genetically modified young leader, immediately got his gun hit away from him by the mech, so... and then battered again. Now, this fight goes on seemingly forever, with lots of scenes of the old-age pensioner overpowering a robot suit. We're checking on that CGI again. Notice how blurry this is, by the way. Everyone's fighting almost in slow motion, but the one cool bit of the fight that I did like was... finally, a character that they tried to give a personality went off the wall. It was just nice to see a punch done to somebody that had an impact. And the shapeshifter grabbing him only to transform into whatever that thing is. Also cool. Although one of the reasons why I may have liked it could have been, it's the first time the shapeshifter's done anything the entire series. You would have thought his superpower was, I'm super intelligent, rather than being a shapeshifter. Of course, this leaves the old age pensioner with 2 robots. Well, that was lucky. I tell you, if it was that easy, why didn't you do that first? I don't even know what really happened. Because she grabs the controls, tilts the ship, and he goes flying off, but nobody else does. I think it flipped upside down, and they both stayed on it for some reason. Maybe she got magnetic shoes. Then, though, it gets fired up into the sky for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Are you telling me a robot wouldn't be able to withstand a few G's? Oh no! I feel so heavy and I'm so weak! They fly up into the sky, and this is the good bit. Roll credits! That was my reaction. Unfortunately, somehow her dress attached to the other side of the ship. I don't know how. It wasn't that long. It's not expandable. Don't ask questions. Turn your brain off. It'll be fine. Now, somehow, the robot with robot senses doesn't hear her, which leads to an easy win. She's like, you were part of the black market. That's where you heard about the godsend.
You killed your family. What?
He has a point. But we all know you're scum. I don't know why you care about this.
A few billion more people.
It's not billion. Quadrillion is what you said earlier. But he starts telling her own history. They took your crown while your family died, and then you betrayed your greatest lover.
He played you, Emperor. Sans alive.
Dun dun dun. Yes, for some reason, after she saw him poison himself, she never checked to make sure he was actually dead.
You built up an immunity from that poison, tiny doses over time.
I know they've taken that from somewhere, and I can't remember where, but I've definitely heard it in multiple things.
Don't worry, I just copy that down and use it in my own movie, it'll be fine.
With that, he gets beamed up by the guy, and she's left on the platform thinking, how the hell do I get down from here? Now, obviously, they're on a really dangerous looking ship, very spiky, built for aerodynamics in space, where you really have to worry about air resistance.
Start by naming it something less confusing.
They thought this joke was so funny, it's been throughout the entire movie.
Is it godsend or godsend? I don't know. Oh.
Star Trek, meant for a more civilized age, reduced to this. But they start discussing the plan. The Terran Empire come in and detonate the bomb.
They're detonating it here.
He says that as if they hadn't already realized that earlier in the movie.
So he throws the Federation into chaos.
If by chaos you mean incinerate the entire Federation, it blows up an entire quadrant and we stop forgetting the seriousness of our own weapon.
Starfleet will start scrambling.
Starfleet won't be scrambling anywhere. They'll be dead. It blows up an entire quadrant.
Perfect time to invade.
Invade what? You've blown up an entire quadrant. There's nothing left to invade.
You gave birth to this thing.
She's more of a career woman. She doesn't actually have any kids. That would make sense why she gave birth to just destructive forces instead. One or the other, really.
How do we stop it?
We don't.
She's not kidding either. She's literally telling you the end of the movie.
We don't stop it, we just let it explode because we're smart.
You can do better than that.
I can't. The godsend is me. I'm the only one I could never defeat.
It's because you never fought yourself. I could defeat you. Off the top rope with a steel chair. I mean, I'm just so smart. I can't outsmart myself. Because you're yourself. Get somebody smarter to do it. With that, though, the leader goes to a chest. We need to go and chase him.
We'll make sure he can't contact the Terrans.
I removed this coil.
You ripped out the coil.
So is that his Junker ship in the safe house? And he removed the coil decades before and put it in a drawer, just in case he was ever stuck there and nobody could take the ship and fly off with it. Because he didn't have time to go there and remove it. I mean, this is some next level foresight, I tell you. So they magically fixed the ship with the exact device they needed that was taken out decades before in a plan that wasn't even needed yet. Yeah, now you play it. Nothing says Star Trek like these people. Welcome to the next generation. Special needs. Look, everyone gets performance anxiety now and again. Oh, look! Yes! It's James Bond! I never knew women were such good engineers that they know to kick things. That'll fix everything. Don't try that with your local desktop PC. Violence and technology don't actually mix. I was like, okay, it's a Terran ship. It's definitely going to be heavily armed. And we are a trash ship. Because this guy's backup plan, for some reason, was a trash ship. I don't know why. It doesn't even have weapons. Now, if this ship was Section 31's lead spy's backup plan, he literally chose to put essentially a bin van as their way of escape with no weapons. If it's a ship they find, you can excuse it. If it's a ship he put there deliberately, he's an idiot.
Our best potential weapon is a beam for collecting garbage.
Be careful, it might suck you up as well. It probably can't distinguish between human and inanimate trash.
Yes.
Great.
That actually would be great. It'd be pretty funny.
Being judgy never helped anything.
That's just a lie. Being judgy is the foundation of all society. It's how you don't let the scum get away with things. Now, the trash ship arrives in the nebula, and for some reason, don't notice, right next to them, in fact, is the enemy ship. I see that again. This is the dumpster ship. This is the enemy vessel. Look, all I'm saying, space is pretty big, right? Then they weren't told the location of this passage. He just said nebulas are pretty big as well. Right there. I can't. That's wild.
The passageway will open soon.
Aren't you going to worry about the enemy ship that's just turned up about 10 feet from you?
Do you know what I want when this is all over?
A brain.
If you only had a brain, if you only had the heart, if only had the nerve.
Mecha boom boom. But it's interesting the way the movie sums up the fight between evil and evil while pretending one of them's good.
Sex, evil tension and stuff.
Yeah. Sex, evil tension and stuff. We used to have Shakespeare, now we've got this. They get alerted at the trash heap though, and I would just shoot them, to be honest. I'm sure you got more than one torpedo. Shoot them again. The thing is, they're like, I'm not going to take evasive action. Straight ahead into the torpedo. That makes sense.
Of course, with everything in our shields.
Well, they got the shields. There go everything else. You're lucky you're even alive.
Why isn't she changing course?
Why do you care? Shoot him again.
But do I look like a fortune teller?
If you only had a brain.
Now you look like a leprechaun.
What?
Now. Oh, we just dodged it. It skimmed our shields. That was smart. Begs the question why other people don't do that in space, but here we are. Personally, I'd put some kind of engine into the torpedo so it can turn around and hit you again. Now, this is the most really stupid thing that I've seen, to be honest. So, this little tiny ship is meant to be pulling this big, massive ship. I mean, look at the size difference. It's just ridiculous. It's like an ant pulling an elephant. And I know what people would say. Oh, will tugboats pull big cruise ships? Yes. But that's because the cruise ships want to be pulled. All this ship has to do is turn its engines on. Nothing the other thing can do to it.
Navigation control suspended.
Why? Full power to engines, reverse thrust, Captain.
What are you gonna do? Drag us to death?
How can they even drag you? Turn on your stupid engines.
She's trying to stop me from reaching the Empire.
Then use your engines and drag the tiny bin ship. This isn't a tugboat, it's a bin. This should have been the face when you were describing this plot to somebody else. So hang on, how does the bin ship pull the war vessel? Just look at the size difference. This little tiny thing is their ship. All of this is the enemy vessel being pulled by that.
How's everybody feeling about this?
I think you're mentally deficient pond scum, but that's just me.
Only way. This can work.
It can't work. You don't have the power. Was that ADR? Gotta watch her mouth.
It's the only way.
Don't think she says anything for this next line.
This can work.
That's not what she said. She did not say that.
Only way. This can work.
Lips didn't even move. She doesn't say this either.
The radiation will wear down their shields.
They're just hoping that because it lags all over the place, you can't tell that her lips aren't moving. So they start going, well, there's radiation, it'll wear down their shields. Yeah, but it'll wear down ours, and we got hit with torpedoes.
I can't get torpedo lock. Cannon's offline.
Why? You haven't taken any damage. You're getting pulled by a bin vessel. You're supposed to be a warship. So they start dragging him into, like, radiation waves. Which, at least you can understand why they would hurt him. I just don't understand why he's not hurting them.
Shields are down. I repeat, shields are down.
Well, hopefully they will melt due to the massive amount of radiation pouring through the cabin. But then Philippa decides to save the day.
This is chaos, Garrett. No, you love it.
No, you just hope she loves it.
Maybe let it in. Make out with it a little.
Make out with the chaos. Let it in. Shove it up yourself. What is even the metaphor here?
Chaos is my friend with benefits.
Well, I mean, no one accused her of being subtle, did she? I'm a slag!
I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
Chaos is my friend with benefits.
We need a plan from you. I'm a slag! There's not time for that. We need a plan.
Yeah, let's get messy.
Ew. You know what that means?
Slag.
Thing is, as soon as the warship shields are down, they beam over. This leads to another repetitive fight where she fights people she wouldn't be able to fight in an effort to get the god weapon. Personally, I'd just shoot right now. There's no need to talk to him. You were happy to kill her before. Yeah! The moment you get what you deserve. Philippa! Why have you not shot Philippa yet?
It only ends when one of us is dead.
Why haven't you shot her yet then? Wait, why are you next to each other? You were across the other side of the room. Philippa! He's miles away, you can tell by his voice. Look at the distance between the two of them. She puts her weapon down so that he could just shoot her in the head.
Is dead!
How did you get next to him all of a sudden? Before he shot you. And he was willing to shoot you because he tried.
Dead!
He pulled the trigger, but somehow he's next to her, so she managed to divert it. If he just stayed where he was, she would have lost. She wouldn't even been able to take him on her best day. Then we find out how stupid this weapon is when they go to pick it up. Happens to knock her on the floor.
Detonation sequence.
All I'm saying is I would expect something that destroyed the universe to have anti-drop protection, especially as you can't turn it off.
We ruled before you behemoths found us.
Yes, like the Englishman.
Again after you're gone.
Based. There's no way you'd beat him in a fight, love.
Guess who survives very large explosions?
Even bigger things?
Very small things.
That's not even true. If anything, they're entirely engulfed within the explosion. With that, though, he flies out of his eye, leaving his robot on autopilot to fight him, while leaving in his own ship. Doesn't really make sense. If he's like, oh, I'm so tiny, I can survive any explosion, why does he need to leave? He'd survive right where he is. Captain Starfleet's like, we can't let that thing get away. After him! Lock on missiles.
Plot missile lock.
We have trash.
Yes, we've already told you we're a bin. I literally told you we didn't have weapons earlier in the episode. Lock on a trash missile. Back on the ship, they're fighting and... Oh, look, it's when two become one. We're like the Spice Girls. Remember me? You know, look, I know I was evil and I mistreated you for years, but I've realized no one else wants me at this age. Finally. In the trash ship, though, Captain Starfleet has a plan.
Don't have any weapons.
We have a payload bay full of trash.
You've got a bridge full of trash as well, but that's never helped you before. Of course, as ever, the villain has to start whining at her rather than just shooting her in the head. I was weak and pathetic before, but now I've learned. Being under your heel taught me who I am. I am an emperor.
Will reign over this universe with righteous mercy.
How? Going to blow up a bomb that destroys a quarter of the universe, and you're like, we will rule over the ashes? Why?
No benevolent dictators.
That's just a lie. There can obviously be benevolent dictators. You just require a good person to be the dictator, who actually just wants to do right by his people, because they're his people. The only thing it requires is a guy that doesn't want to key his own car. It's in his best interest to be benevolent. This is a lie told by immoral people that know what they would do if they were in charge, and they just assume everyone else is the same scum as them.
You told me that.
You didn't even think you were a benevolent dictator. You knew you were scum. You took glee in blowing up planets. I mean, you didn't think you were the good guy. We can come back from this. I mean, yes, I did spend many years going around the universe, engaging in mecha boom boom. But now I'm 62. I want you after all. You should be grateful.
We can start over.
I finally decided to settle. I can overlook your face, which I caused. He is entirely right in this scenario. Yes, he does want to wipe out the universe, but he has every right to do this to her after what she did to him. Unfortunately, as the robot is on autopilot, Section 31 leader starts winning again. Meanwhile, back in the trash, she's looking among the trash for something that is useful. And she's making out with chaos in a bin. Really feels like a metaphor. This really feels like it sums up maternity. You used to have a family on a farm, and now you're just talking about how you love chaos in trash. We got this creepy doll toy for the kids that, like, sounds as if it's about to murder them all. They'll love this. Seriously, no wonder they threw that mess away. Look at the state of it. She's like, though, hang on, this is actually illegal in Federation territory because turns out the battery, hugely explosive. It's actually more dangerous than a Samsung Note 7.
Oh, you're gonna blow us up, aren't you?
I mean, yes. The only reason why they think we need women in STEM is because they're not in STEM, and so she has no idea what she's doing.
You better hope that this ship's hull is reinforced with thermite.
She's literally saying, I'm gonna blow you up. So the fight continues on the other ship. I don't know why he's choking him. He's a robot. He doesn't breathe. Oh no, don't gently make my head turn into a wall. That'll sting for... It's not even gonna sting, is it? Let's be honest. Can we please not boot the universe-destroying weapon?
I am a science officer.
She had to say that for the people that were ironing at home. So like, how does she know to do that? Oh, she's a science officer. She knows what chemicals does and stuff. Where did you get the chemicals? Nobody knows. When you saw her found the battery.
Science has just controlled chaos.
Science is the opposite of chaos. The opposite of controlled chaos. It's literally about the physical laws of the universe. They're fixed. You don't get more orderly than that.
Chaos, 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 chaos.
You're gonna jump into Kylie Minogue in a second. La 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 la. I think that was meant to be Morpheus from The Matrix, except he's like, oh, I'm gonna die. What was that little hop for? It made you look like an idiot. And this is meant to be the grand finale. There's absolutely no way she'd take a punch like that, and we all know it. I'm gonna punch you anytime now. I can hug you, though. You've never been hugged. Because I've been putting you through brutal pain for decades. No, this isn't Echo. You can't cure my childhood trauma that you put me through. Based. So the trash ship wants to accelerate past the other ship, even though we don't know it can, and why can a bin ship go faster than a fighter anyway? Either way, They need to accelerate so they can drop the payload before they explode. The problem isn't the speed of the bin ship. I don't know what button opens the cargo bay doors. It might blow us up.
We're gonna blow up anyway.
Yeah, just 50-50 guess. That's what I want the fate of the universe to hang on. That's tense. Random chance.
You just need to make a call. You know what to do.
Guess. He can't speak the pissing language, love. He's just told you. He's an idiot. You would have thought if he could transform into anything, he could have transformed into somebody smart. I promise it's not much. No, seriously, it better not be much because it's a creepy doll that you're supposed to give to kids that blows up in your face. If this does Disney, I'd be like, that's probably what they're after, actually. Can we please stop smashing the universe-destroying weapon? Eventually, though, Section 31 gets a knife through the other guy's head, but he's on autopilot, so does it even matter?
Want to hear something funny? I'm on autopilot.
Yeah, we know. They say this as if it was meant to be a reveal, but we've literally seen him piloting another ship. Again, I think this was a TV series reveal that they've not edited properly in the movie. You can see why that doll was banned, can't you? Supposed to be given to kids. You're gonna die one day! So the small thing realizes, oh no, they're gonna make me explode. No! I don't know why he's so bothered. Small things survive really big explosions. You shouldn't care. Why is he going, I thought you survived explosions. You thought you could survive the explosion of the universe. That should be a piece of piss. She really loves chaos. If I didn't know any better, I'd be saying chaos vibrated. Over on the other ship, though, things not looking quite so good. Obviously, the man overpowers her because he's a man. Somehow, she manages to stop the sword with her bare hands, which is literally impossible. And he's like, I'm gonna stab it really slowly into your nose. And she's just holding it there on her cheek for ages. It goes on for about 8 seconds of her just holding it on her cheek before... She cuts his neck with it. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Turns out I'm evil again. And then, for absolutely no reason, bearing in mind he just wanted to slaughter her seconds before, he's like, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted to be with you again. Despite the fact that I had decades to do it and decided to make your life a living hell. But don't worry, I'm 62. I'm willing to settle now.
You were right.
What do you mean she was right? You wanted to stab her in the face literally 10 seconds ago.
Still needed you.
Needed her for what? You needed her like a hole in your head. Literally.
To show me who I am.
I mean, you always needed her to show you who you are. Literally driving a spear into her face. The only thing that's changed is she kicked a dagger into your neck. And you're like, oh, you're so amazing. Don't get enough blood to his brain, clearly. So he's like, oh, I love you, my love. I didn't love you 15 seconds ago, but now you've killed me. I do all of a sudden for no reason whatsoever because of the terrible script. Oh, it's so tragic. Men never realize what they've got until they've lost it or something, I guess.
We are one.
You're one now, love. You've just killed your second one. With that, the portal to another dimension opens. Bearing in mind, they have no idea the Terrans are on the other side. She decides to pick up the bomb, which started because she kicked it off a table.
Signature confirmed. Detonation.
She didn't need to activate it, by the way. It needed her biological signature to touch it, so she's only just on the bomb. Like, I'm gonna fly into that ship, computer. Full steam ahead. And she asks him if you could go back to the tyrant that made you who you are. If you could stop everything by killing her, would you? Even if it meant your death?
Yes.
Based. If we get one thing back in entertainment, I hope it's the heroes wiping out the villains like they pissing deserve.
Then I'm glad I knew you, Alax.
Finally. Somebody that believes in justice. They're evil. Do what needs to be done. And so with that, they fly into the portal. Oh no, they're gonna fly in and detonate the other worlds.
You need to transport them back.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think about that. Their ship's about to blow up. Should I just leave them on it? Oh no, that's a good idea, lady, that is. I'm glad you thought of saving their lives. Unfortunately, the transporters don't work. So... they hold hands as they about to blow up a universe. It's like, oh, isn't that the gesture she used with the other guy? She's already replaced him. How quick she is to forget. And it detonates inside the portal. Now, at this point, we don't know what happens. Are they on the other side of the portal and therefore it can't travel across? So has she blown up quadrillions of innocent people on the other side? It also makes you think that the bomb exploded on this side. So is that both sides with double the quadrillions? Well, it turns out the beam worked. They got beamed off the ship just in time, which means at least their galaxy isn't destroyed.
Darkness is disgusting.
Thought she was supposed to be Asian, not English. But the passageway starts collapsing after the bomb was detonated in it. Kind of implies, as this is meant to be a redemption story, apparently, that detonating the bomb inside the portal dismantles the portal, but doesn't blow up either side of the universe, even though it was only designed to blow up the universe. No, I don't know how either, and it's never explained. They don't even try to. They don't even come up with some pseudo-babble to try and tell you it. They don't know. You could have even had, well, the neutrinos in the bomb actually counteracted the ion storm. Have they blown up the Terran Empire? I need to know. How evil is she? No, we're just gonna go to some, like, fancy lights or something. After that, we're back in her bar, with a dress that you wouldn't make your worst enemy wear. I'd forgotten about her, to be honest. Didn't need to meet her again, really. It's catch-up time after the event, and she's been invited to join Section 31. And she's already moved on from the love of her life, which she was willing to blow up the universe for, after spending decades hurting him. Literally forgot him and it meant nothing to her. Welcome to the female romance story. At least take a week off, love. Don't you just love a man who wears tuning fork earrings? He's so masculine it hurts. Because it turns out to just be the shapeshifter.
What gave it away?
The femininity. Of course, Starfleet arrives, out with a promotion, Lieutenant Commander, and she decided that she wanted to look even worse than before. Anyone that tells you look good with short hair, they're lying to you.
This unit is going to be a permanent detail, and you all definitely need oversight.
Starfleet wouldn't oversee Section 31. That's literally the point of Section 31.
I may slaughter you all at any moment. Is that a deal breaker?
Yes. If the person that built a weapon to destroy the universe says she might slaughter you, believe them.
It's not like you need a reason anyway.
That makes it worse. She's gonna wipe you out for no reason.
You're a bad bitch.
Oh. You know, Giorgio, you really are evil, aren't you? Warms the cockles.
Oh, we get it. You're terrible.
Ugh. You were weeping over your husband's corpse 30 seconds ago, love. Put him down. Besides, how old is he? He's 51. He's looking good for 51. I wouldn't have called that.
Soulless murderer who we can never truly trust.
Put her out an airlock. Now.
Somebody's got to keep things lively.
This isn't Section 31. Oh, we just really love hanging around murderers. Oh, that's what we like about you. It's the fact that you'll just wipe out a galaxy. Oh.
This isn't poison, is it?
Can't even accept drinks from her. How are you supposed to work with her? Of course, they thought they were getting a second series, probably about the time they wrote the script and then had to adapt it for a movie. Oh, we'll just leave it open to make a second movie as well, shall we? This one's so good, it'll definitely get renewed. And so they had to bring him back.
Section 31, Bob. 2 of these conveyances.
I got these 2 conveyances from Texas. Out there in the cowboy kind of land, gotta have some new weird accents.
Black market?
On the black market. I don't know whose Texan accent is worse, his or mine.
My name's Wes.
My name's Wisp. His wife. That's why I got such a deep voice, you see.
And I'm here for when we catch up with...
So the wife is like, okay, I'm in the other suit that they bought to track down my husband. But he exploded! No, because small things survive explosions. Why didn't we think of this before?
Little things sometimes survive big explosions.
Yeah, that's how people get pregnant. Then we see Control. And look who it is. Talia, fresh off Borderlands, she ends up in Section 31. She needs to fire her agent.
My better judgment has been screaming at me for 2 days now.
I'm not surprised. Why did you accept this job?
Saying that you lot are gonna cost me my job.
Yes, this movie is so awful. If there was any justice in the world, it would cost people their job.
I told my judgment to shut up.
That's how I ended up here. You're gonna cost me my job. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. What's the worst they can do?
Because we have work to do.
Gotta continue to destroy Star Trek until every single person's memory of it has been ruined.
Has anybody been to Turkana 4?
Does anybody care? It's no use playing Star Trek music now.
You say Dracana or you say Janana?
Because you can't hear words. It's funny. Comedy.
It's on your mama 4.
It's on your mama 4.
It's on your mama 4. They ended the movie on a your mum joke. In Star Trek, this movie's got all the talent of your mama on all 4s. What the piss was that? It wasn't Section 31. It wasn't Star Trek. It had no kind of moral questions in it at all. It was Guardians of the Galaxy if it was made by an incompetent hack. And it was very Kurtzman. It was clearly a TV series which had been edited poorly. And I don't know whether it was filmed as a TV series, but the script definitely was from one. You can tell when scenes didn't match up with things or things didn't align. That, oh yeah, that was probably the end of an episode there. That was an idea you had for over here. Doesn't make sense in the movie. And I'm sure some things may have worked in this series, like the guy changing his mind from, I love you! You know, you've made me see the light, actually. I agree with you on everything. Maybe in a series with more time, they could have added that into the story, but they didn't, so why is it pissing there? But even if you remove everything about the IP, you're just left with a bad movie. One that doesn't make sense. Its characters are 2-dimensional. You don't care about any of them. And so while I do like that it was killing off characters, I think more shows should do that. You have to make people care about the characters to do it. And foreign entertainment can do it. Alice in Borderlands can make you care about those characters in 20 minutes. But this can't. The West as a whole often can't. And it's because to Hollywood, these people aren't people. They're identity groups. They're tick boxes. Because the people writing these scripts are in Hollywood as well. They just see themselves as identity tick boxes. That is their personality. But no full human being gets attached to an identity group, and so you mean nothing to them. They get attached to a 2D stereotype, which you can literally sum up the entire character in a line. And you did. There is no amount of, oh, we're walking through a forest, I should just tell you my backstory now, that will make up for it. It didn't work in Rebel Moon, and it didn't work in this. It's a bad, inferior form of storytelling, and it's the only thing Hollywood seems capable of now. So congratulations to the predictive script line at the end. That yes, these people will cost you your career, or if there's any justice in the world for the creators of this, it would. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe, more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.